The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and themikewagnershow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific lady who's got a great story to begin with. She arrived in the U.S. legally at 9 in 93 through his father's visa as an I-94 and descendant of the Soviet Union. She's fluent in Russian and English, lives in Massachusetts, and considered stateless due to a situation in Russia. And she's working on an MBA at the University of the People. And where is this at? I think I'm going to go to school there. We'll find about that. And she's got a brand new book about a girl with pink hair who sings and dances her troubles away through the magic bestowed upon her by the Queen of Unicorns. And who is the Queen of Unicorns? We'll find out just 1 minute. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios from outside Boston, Massachusetts, the amazing multi-talented author of The Girl with Pink Hair. You'll see her on Facebook a lot with all these groups. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Diana Kouprina. Diana, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi. Hello.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you arrived. So let's start off, first of all, that you had a really unique story. You arrived in the U.S. legally at 9 in 93 through your father's visa as an I-94 and descendant of the Soviet Union. You're fluent in Russian and English. You lived in Massachusetts for quite some time, considered stateless due to a situation in Russia, and you're working on your MBA at the University of the People, and you have a new book about a girl with pink hair singing and dancing your troubles away through the magic bestowed upon her by the Queen of Unicorns. It's called The Girl with Pink Hair. And before getting all that, Diana, tell us how you first got started.
How I first got started. I was a bookworm. I love to read and write. Soviet Union was, I came here when I was 9. So Soviet Union back then in the early 1990s would be equivalent to the US 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
So before Barbie came on board.
Right, yeah, Barbie and Ken, that's right. Yeah, and it's not the movie.
Before all of that. And so we have books, and I read in Russian. And I read some more, and I loved Hans Christian Andersen, but I hated his Little Mermaid.
Really? Why is that? That's a classic.
Because she dies in the real story.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. She becomes sea mist, I want to say, or part of the sea, like the sea foam. There you go. And so when Disney came out, came into the 90s, American became
right, the American version, the cartoon version, the animation, not the live one, right? And
I was shocked. As a 7-8-year-old watching, after I read that she dies, and there's another ending where she actually lives happily ever after. I was hooked on storytelling. I liked performing, storytelling. And when I moved to the US, and when I learned English within basically a year or so, I want to say, that's when I tried to write my own stories from what I've read. So it's been there. It took a long time to get here to this point. So the journey itself has been quite interesting. I denied my writing skill or whatever you may call it. I went in different career choices, different paths. And most of them are probably something I would not recommend anyone taking.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And we all know, and we know what it is mainly too. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career?
One precise moment. There were so many, but one exact moment was that I just loved writing poetry, and it just through through fighting anxiety, depression, and a wide range of mental disorders. It became almost healing to write, and that's how my thought process just worked. And for a certain period, when I went through my trauma, I just stopped writing. I shut down. Nothing. I created absolutely nothing for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just not. I didn't even touch a pen. Nothing. Not a journal. Not anything. And then my daughter was born, and she has a very strong presence, and she's very strong-willed and a loud voice. And I was going through positive parenting phenomenon, so I enrolled in so many different classes, and I was trying to just learn how what to do and what not to do, and I didn't want to repeat familial cycles, so I wanted to break through of that. And that's when the story just manifested. I wrote it in 10-15 minutes. I was like, wow. I like this. I like this.
Wow. 10 and 15 minutes, you wrote a story. Generally takes like days, weeks, and months. Oh my gosh.
It was a purge, but I feel like I've been creating it for so long that it was just the purging beginning process. And I connected with an illustrator actually from Yerevan, Armenia, which was back in the day, one of the Soviet republics. I loved his art, but we lacked a connection. We still went through and published, but I'm changing the book. So there's going to be Adventures of PK, and instead of the magical unicorn, there's going to be a queen of cats. And it just seems something that I just felt like changing, because cats speak to us more as a family, and we just had a cat pass away, and Halloween and cats, I made that switch.
That's a perfect choice when it comes to that.
And I have a new illustrator who's amazing, and the connection was just right on par as creators. It was something that we just bounce ideas off and work off each other. So I'm really excited. We're hoping to release it for Halloween 2023.
Okay.
That's hope.
Now, what is the name of that book?
It's similar to Adventures of the Girl with Pink Hair, but we're going with Adventures of PK.
Got it. Okay, so it's an upcoming one. Okay.
Yeah, it's
upcoming? The Adventures of PK. Okay, I got to write that down. So we got to do that too. And of course, speaking of PK, we'll talk about the original book, which started off The Girl with Pink Hair with Diana Kouprina. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. And Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Ford Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com or 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also on Pandora, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Also on Odyssey, Apple Music, and more. Make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/MiaMelson for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/MiaMelson. Check it out today. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the mikewagnershow.com. We're here with the amazing author of the book, The Girl with Pink Hair, Diana Kouprina, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk more about The Girl with Pink Hair, besides Hans Christian Andersen, who are some of our other favorite authors and writers growing up in the Soviet Union and coming to America?
Oh, well, Soviet Union, Pushkin, but I don't know how much I actually loved him as more as it was the poetry memorization was enforced, strict authoritarian sort of parenting. US, that's when I fell in love with just variety of losing myself in stories. So it really depends on the age, from 9 to about 11. Bugs Bunny.
Oh, yes, Bugs Bunny. My goodness. You're bringing me back to my childhood. Saturday morning cartoons, getting in PJs, coming downstairs with a bowl of Frosted Flakes and just watching it on, I think, what was it? Either on ABC or CBS back in the day. Bugs Bunny. You're hitting a button right in my inner childhood right there, Diana.
Bugs Bunny. He was a big one. Then what did I discover after Bugs Bunny? I love Lucy, Lucille Ball.
Yes, that's another American classic. That's been around since, God, the 1950s or something like that.
Well, again, that was the only that was the only grasping understanding of the cultural shock I was going through that I could relate to, because Lucy's American, and then you have this Cuban, and Cuban is very close culturally, you can say, to the Soviet Union personality. So it was just, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go with this. That was the beginning of my also learning of American culture.
Oh, wow. Okay. And of course, you got to watch out when Ricky gets mad when he speaks Cuban. He's going to blow up.
Yes, and my father was quite similar, genius man, but yes, quite similar. So I could relate on a certain extent, and I just love the show. Lucille Ball was just.
What are some of the cartoons you watched in the Soviet Union?
Oh, we didn't really have that many. There were just Russian Soviet cartoons that were released then. I didn't really get American movies there. Chucky was one of the first I saw, and that terrified me. I'm still terrified of that Chucky doll.
Oh, yeah. Was it Friday the 13th? Somewhere around there, yes.
No, I can't do that. But everything I can remember really starts when I came to the US, and just the cultural immersion I went through. And I went through it really deep. I want to say.
And of course, you arrived in the U.S. legally when you're 9 years old in 93. So this is probably going to go back into the 80s or something. I think this is the period of Gorbachev as well, too. And when you left in 93, was Gorbachev still in control? Was it?
Yes. Yeah, no. It was like almost the end of Gorbachev.
Of Gorbachev. Okay.
Right before Yeltsin came in. Yeah. That was the transition. And we came here because my dad went to Yale University on a full scholarship. It was a huge honor to be coming from the Soviet Union to Yale. And then he invited my mom and I, and then he worked for Harvard. So we remained in the US all legally. Unfortunately, 9/11 happened, And then our process just slowed down completely for a green card. And it was just continuous, my father's work authorization cards. And growing up, I really wanted to be American, like completely. I didn't want to have any other identity. I went to private school, went to boarding school. And I wanted to be like the rest of the girls, although I wasn't. And that was one of the things that eventually got me into trouble, and maybe one of the reasons I'm stateless at the moment, I would say, was just that complete immersion and not thinking, hi, I'm an immigrant.
That's all right. That's our unique way too. Considering stateless, I'm thinking of like, where you live in the States and everything like that, Massachusetts, and maybe you can call it like your little small country, New England or whatsoever. So,
well, New England could be considered a little small country on its own. But no, stateless refers to a person that does not have a nationality. And I don't have a nationality. The last passport I had, which wasn't even mine, I was just stamped into it, was my mother's Soviet Union passport from that expired, I believe, in 1996.
oh wow.
Yeah. And I was about to get my green card with my parents. I just made the error of being 25, foolish, in love, and following all the bad habits I could follow. And just went into that swarm and got married. And apparently, I learned this later, is that you cannot have a petition within the USCIS for with your parents, as I had. If you marry, then it transfers to the responsibility of the husband. It reminds me of sort of cattle. My father's cattle, and then I became my husband's cattle. And then my husband decided he didn't want me as a.
Oh my goodness! Put you out the pasture. Shame, shame, shame.
Out the pastures, and he had a mistress and so forth. And when we petitioned for my green card with him, he chose not to come to the interview.
Wow.
Yes. So that landed me into this green water, scary whirlwind of a situation where it wasn't that I was only going through a divorce and losing the house and everything we built together. I was going through this fact that I could be deported.
Back to the Soviet Union?
Who knows? Well, since Soviet Union no longer existed, it was either Armenia or Georgia. I was born in Georgia. And my father has a dual citizenship. He has an American citizenship and Armenian citizenship. So based on that, I had two choices.
And do you think the immigration rules were lenient or strict during the Gorbachev era or the Yeltsin era, or if you're deported now, do you think the immigration would be lenient or more strict under Putin?
The thing with immigration, here's the thing. Actually, it was Clinton who made it very strong. One of the main immigration laws, it was Bill Clinton back in the 90s. And what he did was he said, if you overstayed your visa in the United States of America, and let's say you get married or so on, before we can let you continue living here, you have to go home to your home country, receive a visa there, and then come back into the US.
Okay.
And that was actually Bill Clinton. So I don't know, I can't even say that was the Bush administration. It was actually quite the Democratic administration that did that. And then 9/11. So 9/11 caused the development of ICE. And with that, the game changed, the rules stayed the same, but the problem is that the rules are tricky. You need to understand the legal language, how it works, what you're trying to prove. A law school degree would be great if you're really going through the paperwork. Most people don't do that. So the main focus now has become, oh, you overstayed a visa, you came here illegally, what do we do with you? We either deport you or we try to give you asylum, or that's where everyone's sort of battling, but nobody's looking into the deeper fact of what's causing people like me, for example, to become stateless. And there's 218,000 stateless people in the United States of America right now, as reported by the DHC.
Oh wow! And what percentage would that be about? Like 1%, 5%, 10% or so?
I would imagine it's a very small percentage.
Okay. All right. And also, Dan, are there any special rules or exceptions when it comes to the statelessness, or maybe like extreme emergencies? And if you're stateless, can you apply, say, for like, be a legal citizen in the United States? Say you pay a fee, you take the exam or take classes and everything like that. Would you be eligible to do that?
I'm in a position right now. This is where I am. I submitted my petition seeking asylum in the United States because I've been here for 30 years, never leaving the country, and I know no other country. I really don't. I've never left the US. I haven't even traveled to Europe. I've never had a passport. And so based on that, I'm able to file a petition saying, well, you got to figure out what to do with me. And hopefully you give me a citizenship. And that is the only catering there is to stateless. Most people say it's an extremely difficult application. For me, it was an application that I finally found relief that I found this application, because it literally followed everything. I fit the mold of that application. It was, I felt like I was writing a legal dissertation. Final concluded 80 pages long with evidence. But it's all about legality. If you entered the US legally, if you ever left, if you feared this country or you can't go back to this country, why did you leave the US to go to this country? And obviously none of that applied to me. So I fit that mold for the application. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the next presidential election too, whatever Biden gets reelected, or if Trump comes back for another term after being ousted after 4 years.
So that's going to play an interesting role. Honestly, I used to be very, very liberal. After a lot of turn of events, I'm leaning in midway. Just because when Trump came into power, and I can say this from the immigration standpoint, is that when he came to power, he lifted off a lot of Band-Aids. And what I mean by that is that he followed the law, and people said, well, that's not right. And they saw it, and the outrage came. And because that outrage came, action started moving. Paperwork started moving. There was that progress because he pissed people off, right? There was anger that how dare you, but it's all in the paperwork. And because he started, more people became interested in immigration. Biden came into power, and now there's silence. It feels like immigration has been again forgotten about until the upcoming election. And that will be the topic of conversation.
Okay.
And I can guarantee the liberal standpoint will say, we want to do this, and the Republicans are preventing us, and the Republicans are going to say, well, we're trying to. And that's all true. I mean, their honest battle is about legal language that the common person does not understand.
Mm-hmm. And of course, keep us up to date with the situation as well, too, depending on the presidential outcome, whatever you get to stay, you go, or anything like that. In the meantime, you're working on your MBA at the University of the People, and tell us more about them. By the way, first of all, where is the University of People located at? I'd like to attend there.
Actually, it's located in California.
Really? Wow.
The official building, but it is a nonprofit university. And it is online.
Okay.
And it was started by Harvard University, Yale University, NYU, and Berkeley University professors to cater to people who needed help financially and so forth. And because I'm an immigrant. College for me, I never was eligible for financial aid.
Mhm.
And so I couldn't just, after my divorce, I couldn't just pack my bags and say, okay, well, I'm just gonna go get my master's, at UCLA, or I'm just gonna do this. I didn't have that opportunity. So when this university was created, I jumped on it, and it was a blessing. I loved it. I still love it. I
Mm.
continue to take classes just for the joy of it,
Mm.
of learning again, and the whole educational process, which I've always valued.
How'd you first find out about University of People?
Word of mouth through a friend. She was looking into studying, and she actually didn't finish her bachelor's, so she was looking to go back, and that was again an affordable, and because it's nonprofit, and she was a single mother, so first is one of those ideal environments where I can actually do this and get my degree and continue.
Okay. And what's your degree in again?
English.
Got it. Okay. All right. Got that. Okay. I'm just writing down as we speak here. And what are you looking to pursue after you get your MBA?
Oh, I honestly, my MBA started because I wanted to learn marketing. When it came to my writing, I wanted to learn how to market my own product. I wanted to understand what it takes into having a book and selling it, and how to do so. And as a business, how it really works out. The second reason was because I love the nonprofit angle. I have always been a big part of it. I was on the council board for Head Start in Boston, and I realized that's where I want to continue further. And as a survivor of domestic abuse, I realized that that's the platform I want to continue as a nonprofit advocate. And the dream is to start my own nonprofit. And the hope is to eradicate domestic abuse from our communities.
Okay. So you're looking to start a nonprofit to basically just put an end to domestic abuse, and what else?
And memoir writing. I'm working on my memoir right now. It's titled Borderline, and I'm thinking it's going to be 2 books. One is going to be Borderline, the other one's going to be called Stateless. Stateless will deal with the more immigration situation, and Borderline will deal with the traumas and surviving and all the messy stuff, all the darkness, and even addiction, all the darkness.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you start with the book, The Girl with Pink Hair, and more into that with Diana Kouprina. We'll find out just 1 minute. You're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson Missing. We'll be back with the amazing author of The Girl with Pink Hair, Diana Kouprina, after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with author Diana Kouprina of The Girl with Pink Hair here on the Mike Wagner Show. Great story about how she came from the former Soviet Union over to the U.S. and, of course, the stateless situation, getting a better understanding. You also, wrote your book, The Girl with Pink Hair. And, again, tell us more about that book and what inspired you to write it.
My daughter was the full inspiration, the voice. And I just really didn't want to tell her to just simply be quiet because I'm neurodivergent. I know my child is neurodivergent, and I have a sensitivity when someone just tells me be quiet. I can be quiet and I will completely lose my voice. I didn't want her to do that. So that was the inspiration. The book it teaches children that, well, there's other solutions to just screaming. How about we sing through it? And actually that was a lot of fun for Paulina as she was younger, to just sing her needs, sing her desires. What I learned is, me as a parent, the one thing that gets me, that feeling, is the whining.
Mm-hmm.
And that screeching, but it's just symptoms of I need help and no way to express it. And parents don't know how to say, well, oh, you're screaming. What do you need? Let me cater. It's just, stop, please. And so I thought, why not create a story that could be a little bit of go between that and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the thing about pink hairs is like, what's the inspiration about having pink hair?
Well, that's what I wanted the story to be unique. I wanted to name her that she has pink hair, but that's not what makes her unique. It's actually her voice, and everybody has a voice.
Mm-hmm. Certainly does too. And of course, the magic bestowed upon by the Queen of Unicorns. I'd like to hear more about that.
Well, my daughter was, again, going through a phase. She was My Little Pony obsessed.
Oh, yes, My Little Pony. That's my kid's favorites. Now you're starting to hit these buttons. That's what I like about this. You're hitting the buttons on childhood cartoons and everything.
Yeah, I do that. But yeah, so it was just that, watching Little Ponies. Like, what fascinates children on Halloween? Let's not scare them. And I was really writing to cater more maybe to a younger audience, but then the story took a hold of its own, so it became towards older audience. And this is where I have to let go of the unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
In the adventures of PK.
Right, certainly indeed. And of course, you also have your upcoming The Adventures of PK and more of the Queen's Unicorn. We already cover that. And of course, a bit more about that. What do you want the readers to get from the book?
Just feel inspired to hear their kids, even when they're being loud. And maybe instead of telling them to just be quiet or use their indoor voice, we can find something fun. So maybe singing or maybe whispering.
Mm-hmm.
A hard one, especially if the kid actually really needs help, that maybe not whispering, but some way to be loud and present without the whining.
Mm-hmm. And certainly did as well, too. We can all learn from that. And where can we find The Girl with Pink Hair at and all your works at, Diana?
It's a it's online, ebook, Barnes and Noble. It's right on my Facebook link. Click it. It's right there. Diana Kouprina is my Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And you also run a couple of groups as well, too. I don't mean to let the cat out of the bag. So in case I want to find you on Facebook, you also run a couple of groups.
Yes, I do. And that was, again, because I was bored and I love scrolling through Facebook, and I love sharing because that's the way to connect. I don't feel lonely that way. And I didn't want to share it on my newsfeed, that I felt like I would be overwhelming people too much. So it was a sporadic movement. And I figured maybe this is how I can connect with people. Maybe I can share my story and help improve their lives too, through positive thinking. And it just spiraled and took life of its own. And I just do it for stress relief, to be perfectly honest. And well, now with the book, obviously it works as marketing because I can promote my own work.
Mm-hmm. And certainly indeed, and keep us up to date with that. We're here with author Diana Kouprina of The Girl with Pink Hair and The Mike Wagner Show. Also a couple of memoirs coming up and just a couple more things. Diana, what else can we expect in 2023 and beyond?
2023, I would say I'm resting right now. But I want to finish Adventures of PK, have it out for Halloween. And then it's a waiting game with immigration. I have 150 days where I just exist before I apply for further identification needs and so forth, and work authorization and so on. So I'm really, just gonna take the time to take it easy.
I think that's the best thing to do at this point, Diana. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, so many, but my inspiration was always, I'll start with this. From singers, it was Celine Dion and Selena, not Gomez.
Right, yeah,
And let's see, for writers, it was Dostoevsky, David Fowles, Lynch as a director. I love David Lynch.
That was Twin Peaks, right? David Lynch.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah, Blue Velvet. I don't know if you've seen it.
I love Blue Velvet. That was a great movie. I love Bobby Vinton, the way he sang it. Amazing.
Yes. I actually wrote my thesis on that in college.
Nice.
Yeah, I compared and contrasted 3 of Lynch's films and 3 of Fowles's books in highlighting their symbolism and so forth and how they depict women. So still remember it to this day as though I wrote it yesterday, although that was quite some time ago.
I like that. Bobby Vinton's got to be proud. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Love yourself, trust yourself, manifest. It will work out. Just don't stress. I'm not sure if I rhymed, but I heard myself there a little bit.
You got that right. And that's a really key as well, too. We're with Diana Kouprina, the author of The Girl with Pink Hair here on the Mike Wagner Show. Diana, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. That was a great journey. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Live have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact? Will people purchase or check out your books? Where can we check out your books at?
My books. Yes. Just go on Facebook, Diana Kouprina. The link is right there.
Okay, we'll certainly do that as well. Once again, Diana, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Live have you back. Wish you all the best. And Diana, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host, and I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on the mikewagnershow.com, hamiltonradio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at themikewagnershow.com. Thanks for listening.